Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Wednesday, June 14th, 2023. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. Please do say hello in the chat. Hello to you, Miles. Tough times this morning in the energies. Crude exiting its third trade on a stop and reverse exit at 70.17. That's a losing session. You had a break even, 70.17 to 70.33 loss. That's 16 ticks, 32 net. And then you go 33 back to 17 for another 32, so 64 tick loss this morning. Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Arizona Bob. We do no 10 a.m. session. We do have a crude oil inventory report at 11 or at 10:30 rather. Thinking about next week. Unleaded. Also just back and forth action. Unleaded gets in sync with this long from 852. Gets in sync just before it goes down, triggers in on a stop and reverse. Hits the stop and reverse at 81 exactly. Or no, I'm sorry, it's 79. Hits 79 on the exactly. Goes up the other way. And 37 hits that entry exactly. We come back down, stop and reverse at 84, which we hit, and go back the other way. Stop and reverse at 41, which was the full stop. Then another stop and reverse at 04. That's trade number 6. So then we have the stop and reverse exit at 56. And that ends our 6 trades. Just a back and forth stop and reverse fest. 6 stop and reverse losses. Only one of them going to the full loss. And that reversed at the full loss right here. Most of them partial losses. So tough day for the energies, as I mentioned. All right, in that case, let's bring up Micro NQ. That will start in a few minutes. Long trade on the Russell. Avoidable to start with, and it did hit the stop. Yeah, so that trade is off the table. Micro NQ is in a short trade also that will be looking for a new trade come 9:34 Eastern, 8:34 actually exchange time. soybeans has a get in sync long that actually has canceled now, and we did pick up a short right there. Target 2 is our first actionable target. Target 1 is too small. Russell with a short trade that stopped out for a full loss. Nothing in the pound Aussie yet this morning. YM in this long short trade that was too early. Went too far. It's 367 now the stop on that trade, but looking for a new setup and stopping out of the existing trade. Soybeans hitting target 2 and target 3, so 2 positions at target 2, 9 ticks each. Target 3 is 13. We get 18, 31 ticks on the targets, and we're now trailing 7 3/4 points. 89.50 for the trailer at the moment, and a long trade on the YM. Adjust that, well, and goes to a short trade after all of that. Entry at 49, and it did trigger in. Money management's at 34. And we just hit money management. We're going to target 2 on this one. Target 1's only 17 ticks. So looking for $323, and we stop out for a break even. 374 entry for the long. That was a quick turnaround. See if we can push up through the 50, or if that's just a reaction. Russell picking up a long trade. That one went too fast. It was already up above target 1 same second as the setup. So that's a no trade. So we have 1 loss and nothing else yet. Micro NQ still, and we are at our session start time, but we're in a prior short that we're looking for a new trade. 89 flat for the soybean stop. Target 1, stop at 389 now on the YM. That will be POQ. We got a break even, and then we got target 1 winner for 40 ticks. And we have a roughly a 20 tick. Yeah, we actually got, let's see, what was our entry on that? 74. And we get to 93. So we get 19 ticks on the trailer. 40 ticks on the target, 59. and our 2 on the prior trade, 61 ticks in a 1 and done or 2 and done session. Soybeans now at 87 3/4 for the stop. All right, not much. YM is done. Soybeans at 84.5 for the trailer. And nothing else. Got 4 active charts total. No trades on 3 of them. There's a long on the Russell. Plenty of time to get in that to execute that. $84 flat for the soybeans trade. This will be a 1 and done session there when that trade finishes. Break even on the Russell. Stop at, looks like 26.8. Got to push up a bit more before it starts trailing. And our first trade of the morning on the pound Aussie. $85.98 for the short. And break even on the Russell and transitioning to short. Lots of time to get into that too. $83.25 for soybeans. Soybeans $82.75. Filtered stop and reverse at 82 3/4. We wouldn't be entering that anyway. And our first trade of the morning on micro NQ is a long And we did take a full loss on the micro Russell short. So that's one break even and two losses on the micro Russell this morning. Micro NQ setting a new session low, bouncing off of that, coming back close to its session open at 15,100 for the session open. And that's also where our target one is. Soybeans still surviving in the short. Short entry still pending on the pound Aussie. All right, stop still on 82 3/4, just barely below the 20 SMA. We did get to money management on the micro NQ, and we picked up a long on the Russell. Micro NQ stop at 83 3/4. And the Russell hitting money management, stop at 24.8. And another break even, so 2 losses, 2 break evens on the Russell. Micro NQ still trying to push upward, pushing through the session open now. Couple of bars up. And stopping out on soybeans at 82 3/4 to end that session, one and done. Big trailer, so that was actually a very successful trade. 31 ticks on the targets for a small trade. 89.75 2 3/4 to 82 3/4. 7 points on the trailer alone. So we pick up 14 3/4 points on the trade. One close above the balance line on the pound Aussie short. Entry still pending. Micro NQ looking for target 2 at 112 flat. Got as high as 109 flat. So the MNQ bottom center, Micro Russell top left, and pound Aussie top or bottom left are only active charts still. And we got half an hour at least before I have to shut down and transition to the and a long trade number 5 on the Russell is a long. I didn't see how quickly that moved in there to start with. There's target 2 on Micro NQ, so that's a winner for the first trade of the morning on the Micro NQ. Interesting. Not able to break significantly below, break solidly below the 200, pulling back, but also being rejected before it quite got to the 50 EMA and the 20 SMA. So we're stuck in no man's land at the moment. And a little bit of a squeeze on pound Aussie. Trade is still valid. And a short trade now. I would say that's probably the long was probably avoidable. The short we should have gotten in, I think. 6, yeah, and we just came back to the entry, so definitely in the short. Let's take a quick look. Money management on the Micro NQ stopped to 23.7. And I'm going to go ahead now and duplicate this and make it a 4-second. There was our setup. 4, 8. Yep, that was loss number 3. So unfortunately, We are not in this short. Plenty of time to get in that trade, and so it was a loss. Well, the micro Russell is complete, leaving us with the micro NQ and the pound Aussie. Third break even on the Russell, so the Russell not extending enough to get to targets. And the pound Aussie and the MNQ right now not going much of anywhere. MNQ trying to get to target 3 now. $124 flat. And our high currently is 120 and a half. Good morning, Trader Man. If you're just joining us, you have missed most of the action. YM was POQ on 2 trades. Soybeans was one and done with a nice 7-point trailer. Crude and unleaded both with losing sessions this morning. And the micro Russell with a losing session this morning. So another mixed bag today. 102 flat for the micro NQ stop. This is its first trade of the morning. Pound Aussie kind of stuck at the moment. We have a valid short setup at 85.98. But we're stuck in between the 50 and 200 EMAs at the moment. Looking for a break one way or the other. Micro NQ struggling to determine which way it's going. And it looks like the pressure is downward from both micro Russell and the YM at the moment. Micro Russell just below session open. Micro NQ just above session open. And I don't see the session open on. That usually means that the open was either the high or the low. Yeah, the open was the high, it looks like. So I am in loss territory this morning. And now the micro Russell down at session lows. Micro NQ still trying to move up. It's gotten within 2 ticks of our target. 123.5, target at 124. Target of 28, no, let's see, that's target 3. Target at 40.5 tick points. I'm going to trade for profit when I get within 2 ticks. We've gone 95% of the way to target. And you're going to fight over 2 ticks at 40 points. $160 tick target and 160 plus tick target. And you're going to fight over 2 ticks? Not me. Russell finally getting the targets there, getting a nice target 3, 4, and 4 with a trailer between target 3 and 4. But we are done with our session. Crude seems to be getting active right here at 10 o'clock. But we are not trading 10 o'clock session, mini session, because of the inventory report in a half an hour. Did we get another tick higher? Okay, we did. We got to target. So definitely you should be out of target 2 now. Stop still at 102 flat. We did make target 3 on the micro NQ. And our short trade on the pound Aussie is still valid. And we're coming down close to 8,600 again. I really don't want to see crude making big moves right before the inventory report. Now the micro Russell and the YM both moving upward, and see if the micro NQ follows, or see if they can continue. Now it looks like you're pulling back. Micro Russell getting up, or micro NQ rather, getting up close to that target 3 again. Alright, now finally moving up above target 3 on the micro NQ. And looks like we're going to try for target 4. Target 4 at 136 flat. Looks like we got there. Yep, we did. So target 4 stop now at 116 flat. Turning into a big trade. Yeah, micro NQ approaching session high. 151.50 is a session high. 151.5. Just 10 points from there. $121.75 for the micro NQ stop. 124.75. And looks like we triggered in on the pound Aussie. Short on the pound Aussie now. 124.75 still to stop on the micro NQ. Interesting. Soybeans right back up where we entered the trade this morning. Basically up almost 10 point. Yeah, it got back up, got right up to the entry, which is almost 10 points. Looks like, yeah, exactly 10 points from the downward excursion that it made. Interesting movement. Micro NQ is consolidating a bit again. And triggering in micro the pound Aussie hitting the trigger again. So both active charts now in trades, pound Aussie in a short and micro NQ in a long. Very successful long so far. Targets 2, 3, and 4 already achieved, trailing at 124 3/4. All right, looks like it's coming just about time. New session low for the pound Aussie. Okay, and I believe that's where we're going to have to leave it for the moment. Micro NQ is long, reaching for session high. Stop moves up to 127.5 and now 130.5, and setting a new session high at 153 flat. So hate to leave it there, but it's one solid winner on micro NQ that's still trailing. And we're in our first trade with a short on the pound Aussie, and those are our only two active charts. But it's time to set up for the crude oil inventory report coming up at 10:30. So I will sign off for this session and start a new stream shortly before 10:30. We will see you then. All right, Trader Man. See you shortly.